Have you ever been lock blocked? Check out this video I did last year talking about when you need to version lock or feature lock a show. Hey, the channel's growing and I appreciate your support, but if you want to support the channel more, please subscribe, like a video, and maybe share it on social media. Hello everyone. Well, I was recently talking to some coworkers about the effects and impact of version lock and feature lock on a visual effects studio when they're putting a show through, and how it can block a show from adopting new tools. Now I'm going to explain what I mean. With a version lock, a show will start up in a visual effects studio, and let's just say it's starting now and it's going to deliver in summer. Well, they'll determine now what versions of software they're going to use. So maybe Maya 2019 hasn't fully developed into the studio's pipeline, so they're going to decide to go with Maya 2018. So they'll lock in Maya 2018 and other versions of software and maybe some tools that they're developing internally, and they'll say, okay, we're going to use this version. And they'll move forward. And as the months progress, more and more work is done with this version. And later on, as the development teams for the studio start to roll out new versions, they'll adopt them. But at a certain point, somewhere around usually the Christmas rush or maybe just after, they're going to turn on feature lock. Now, feature lock is where you basically say back to the studio, please don't roll out any software to our show or anything new. No new major changes unless they're absolutely necessary. And that's because they have a fear of something breaking within the pipeline, some portion of the workflow being affected by a change and then affecting all those previous shots and work that's already done. So the feature lock will come along and sort of lock down the show in a snapshot of where it's at today, and it will stay there through the life of the show. Now, admittedly, there are certain critical patches and little changes that will get rolled out, but they're done with great care and great discussion before they get rolled out to these shows that are well underway. Now, you can see how that can inhibit a show from adopting new tools because they're using the old features or some old version of something that they locked in early on. That should make sense. But now start thinking about episodics. Now, these are where there's a multi-season show. We're seeing more and more of these from Amazon and Netflix and everybody else pouring money into the industry right now. We're seeing a lot of episodic work. And what happens is season 1 gets done and they version lock and, work on, say, Maya 2018 or 17, whatever it was. But then season 2 starts and they say, let's just keep it the same. We'll stay on the same pipeline. But then season 3, season 4 rolls around, and folks find themselves sort of tethered to those original version lock decisions. Now, this happens to a lesser degree at studios that are very well developed, very well disciplined, that have large teams that can Q&A the changes before they actually go out to the floor and test. And the smaller the shop, the more vulnerable the shop, right? So I'm seeing more and more shops run into this and actually have to make decisions based on that. What do we buy? Which software do we buy? Do we upgrade? Does the upgrade allow us to roll back? What plugins are we using? What renders are we using? Does it work with that old version? It's really causing some interesting complications. So of course, I encourage everyone to do everything you can to keep your pipeline flexible so you can update software and not destroy the show. But I'd like to hear from the animation and VFX folks. What kind of stuff have you run into? Have you found this to be a problem? Have you gotten burned by allowing a change and then it screwed up the show? And conversely, on the non-visual effects animation side, all you traditional IT folks out there, I know there's a lot of traditional change management and project management that goes on to manage change. What sort of principles or tips would you have for the VFX and animation industry to maybe try to rein in some of the problems that come with all this version and rollout management affecting live in production shows? So I'd love to hear from you. If you have any ideas, feel free to DM me. I know a lot of you folks have been giving me great comments and some great private messages. You can always reach out to me on direct message or comment below. Maybe you have a good link to a good resource related to this. I'd love to hear more about it because I can't seem to find a lot about it when I Google it. All right, I hope to hear from you all later, and thanks a lot for your time. Bye-bye.